Okay, thank you. Yes, Professor Michael Keating, you described Gibraltar as a crown dependency. That's not actually correct, is it? It's an overseas territory, which is very different. They have their own parliament, their own modern constitution, and in fact, the only thing that Great Britain is responsible for is external and internal security. And I was actually able to go over to Gibraltar last week and meet with members of the government there and see how pragmatic they are being about Brexit. And I think it's worth pointing out here that Gibraltar voted 96% to remain in the EU. And as a Brexiteer myself, I was very intrigued by this, why an area that call themselves British, very, very patriotic, much more patriotic than the rest of the United Kingdom are, would vote to remain in the EU. And when I went there, I discovered that actually the majority of their reasoning was because of a fear over the border, over border issues. But what they have done is they've decided that it's a done deal, Brexit's going to happen. So as a pragmatic government, they decided what we better do now is look at implications and how we can make this a success for Gibraltar. And instead of dragging their heels and trying to refight Brexit or trying to sell us a soft-boiled Brexit or all of the other whatever you want to call them, they accepted that out means out. We will believe in the single market. And when they looked at the situation, they discovered that 90% of their trade was actually with the United Kingdom. The other 10% was to the single market, to the EU. And they are outside the customs union already. And they have created a plan. They are pragmatic, they're happy, they're forward-looking. And I think it's a lesson for many of us in the United Kingdom who live in areas perhaps that voted to remain, but now need to accept this. But all the more, I'm a Welsh MEP, there's 4 of us. Wales voted to leave the EU. You know, we have to now accept what the people have said. Stop trying to refight this campaign. Stop trying to keep us in for as long as is possible. And grasp it with both hands. And like Gibraltar, actually find the benefits of it and move forward with it. And do you accept the fact that, you know, Gibraltar is actually not a dependency and that their way of looking at Brexit is actually the one that we should all be doing in the United Kingdom?
Yes, on the question of Gibraltar, as I pointed out, the issues in relation to Gibraltar are much less than they are in relation to the devolved parts of the United Kingdom, because Gibraltar is not part of the United Kingdom and it has most of the competences that would be required to deal with Brexit already. And indeed, its relationship with the European Union is completely different from that of any part of the United Kingdom. So I don't see it as providing a precedent. It already has those powers that the Scottish and Welsh governments are arguing about. It's a one-off, and it's been treated as such, and indeed it's not part of the regular joint ministerial committee. It's had its own bilateral joint ministerial committee with the United Kingdom, and the resolution will be resolved amongst the UK, Spain and the European Union in some way or another, without reference to what's happening in Scotland or Wales, although there was at some point some interest in the Northern Ireland border and what could be done there.